You are listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast exploring Scripture and all things related to it. New episodes are released daily. For more information, check out glossahouse.com and subscribe to our channels on Spotify and YouTube. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello, I want to welcome you to Proof Text, and this is GrammarPoint. I'm Fred Long, and I've been looking at intentionality constructions, and we're concluding the series by looking at some live examples. We looked at Ephesians 4. Now we're looking at some kind of random examples. Last time we looked at 2 Corinthians 1:4. Now we're going to look at John 1:7. So this John 1:7 is in the midst of what's called the prologue of John's Gospel. The first 18 verses of John's Gospel is called the prologue. It is arranged as a chiasm, which is kind of when you have A, B, C, and you kind of can work your way back in and then work your way back out. John's Gospel has many chiasms. This is an organizing literary device. It might aid in memorization. It can give pleasure to the listeners to kind of see the text unfold. It's a way to kind of honor your listeners and organize discourse. Things in the center tend to be important, as we saw last episode, that the ability to comfort others is why we go through affliction. And Paul was talking about that last time. And in fact, 2 Corinthians is a letter full of lists of afflictions. And in fact, Paul needs to defend himself against the appearance of seemingly being divinely unapproved. In fact, the letter comes to a climax in chapter 12, where Paul tries to pray away a thorn in the flesh, an agent of Satan, and he can't. He can't. And the Lord comes to him and says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Okay, so that's 2 Corinthians. So this is always strategic, okay? Looking at these clauses and these structures. And so here in John's Gospel, the prologue, we get a description of John the Baptist's purpose. And there's some issue with John the Baptist in John's Gospel that scholars have noted. John is an important figure to be even included in the prologue. But then it's very clear that John the Baptist's purpose, well, what it is for, okay? And we're going to see it right here. So, outos elthen is matorian. He came as a testimony. Okay, so this is one way, this is one of the constructions of purpose, is to have a verb of coming. So here we have a verb of coming plus and you can have an infinitive, or you can have a prepositional phrase, and that's what we have here, a prep phrase. But what makes this so significant is that the prepositional phrase, is matorian, as a testimony, is given further elaboration. And I'm going to change ink colors here because this itself is the goal, it's the end, but then when it relates to the next purpose, it becomes the means. And this is what we see a lot in Scripture, is that one end becomes the means for the next end. So he came as a testimony. Well, really, I suppose this, in order that he would testify concerning the light, this is probably rather not another purpose clause, but an elaboration. This is a epexegetical use, what's called epexegetical. Epigetical, if I was spelling that properly. But basically this ina there is further elaborating what this means. So, but there is, in fact, another purpose, and that other purpose is in what follows. And so let me just kind of correct this on the fly. I don't mind doing that. So this is simply like a that. And then this becomes itself all of this is a means for the next goal. Okay, so him coming as a testimony in order to, that he would testify concerning the light is a means for the next goal in order that all would believe through him. Okay, so that is the goal. Now we have the goal. So his coming is the means to the end of testifying, and that testifying is itself the means for another goal, and that is that all would believe through John. So this is looking at these live in context purpose constructions, and this is an elevated purpose because you have it first stated as a prepositional phrase, but then it's elaborated, and then it itself becomes the means to the next purpose, which has as its goal all people believing. So John came for this purpose, to testify to Jesus, and then that testifying to the light of Jesus is itself the means to the further end of having all people believe through him. All right.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glossa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glossa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glossahouse.com today. Glossa House, language resources for the global community.